Great. Yeah, I think I'm going to talk about the intersection of workflows. You can think of it as business process automation, intelligent systems, so artificial intelligence, and stablecoins, and how these three things can power interesting use cases and novel applications on blockchains. And I'll also lead with our mission statement, which is never write a smart contract again. And we like to claim that the thing holding a lot of blockchain app development back is smart contract programming itself. So we propose, in response to smart contracts holding us back, a novel technology we would like to call the Agentic workflow protocol. And I'll define this by talking about the problems and why we exist and the things we actually do. So if we look at the current state of application development on the blockchain, the growth of the space has burdened developers with what we like to call plumbing work. There are myriad on-chain services, off-chain services, and blockchains. And the resultant output of this has been hundreds of integrations, 5+ years of integration work, and endless infrastructure plumbing to even get started. And this is all exacerbated by smart contract programming itself. And for those who are familiar with this application technology, smart contracts have this wonderful property, but also this challenging property of being immutable. And their development cycle more closely resembles hardware than software. So the design process takes months, sometimes even years. You need to go through speccing, auditing, and every time you make a change, you can potentially cause a catastrophic failure. But what we've seen is that most developers who are building applications on blockchains, they actually don't need the low-level granularity of a smart contract in the first place. If you think about it, most people really just want to stitch together existing primitives into use cases and workflows. You know, one example could be a payment, one chain to another. A cross-chain swap is a great example that aggregates a bridge and a DEX, a subscription service, many such examples. And I usually like to say, this is exactly what happened in Web 2. We created JavaScript to combine and aggregate low-level primitives. And when's the last time you wrote a C application to launch a website? But no such technology and primitive exists in the blockchain space. And then at the same time, you have this evolution of software occurring basically everywhere else except blockchain in a serious way, which is autonomous systems, LLMs, and their sort of adoption elsewhere. And the main thing that's holding back AI from being used in a serious way on the blockchain is the custody and compliance structure of digital assets. You can't send your keys or your tokens to Anthropic. You can't send your keys or your tokens to a centralized server. That's not compliant, nor is that safe. So you need safety and custody and protocols built to make that technology worthwhile in the first place. So what we ended up doing, and this is a picture of a first-party product that we built on our workflow engine, is we actually built a way to assign tasks to autonomous systems with immutable guardrails. And you can think of this technology as the first runtime interpreter built as a smart contract for writing higher-level automations on blockchains. And the version of this you're seeing is a payments product that we built that is live with over 35 clients that lets you go from fiat to any token on any chain. And so this is live with ApeChain. We're going on Story Protocol. A bunch of other projects use this technology now, but underlying it is a more foundational technology, which is build any workflow you want. If you want to build a liquidity aggregator, you can build it in hours, not years. If you want to build a recurring payments product, you can build it in hours, not years. Instead of writing smart contracts, you can just write a workflow. If you want to build a limit order, you can build it as a high-level automation instead of writing your own custom set of smart contracts. We're even starting to see people want to do treasury management. I want to monitor my balance across 20 chains. One way to do that is to write your own custom infrastructure, cross-chain execution logic, data translation, or you can write it in a higher level automation standard, even yield maximization. So what we're really trying to communicate to the world is that smart contracts are not the only way. We're not saying you should use this to write a protocol primitive like a DEX. That is what Solidity is great at. What we're saying is for high-level business logic, for applications that sit closer to the consumer and just want to add a little bit of state management and stitch things together and compose existing primitives, this is a very necessary next step for the industry. Again, you don't always want to use a systems language. You sometimes just want high-level scripting. This is exactly what Python and JavaScript did for traditional programming and what we aim to do with Halliday and our protocol. Thank you. Never write a smart contract again.